It's great to be back in San Diego, a beautiful city. And by the way, this is our largest U.S. MedTech conference we've ever held. So thank you, California, and thank you, San Diego, for turning out. On my office wall in D.C., I have a painting of Frederick Douglass, and underneath a plaque with one of the most powerful things he said over a lifetime of eloquence. It reads, "I would unite with anyone to do right, but with no one to do wrong." He was responding to criticism of his willingness to work with those in power to abolish slavery, instead of working solely with the more purist abolitionist groups of his time. This great leader was willing to work with people he disagreed with on many issues in order to accomplish the greater good of freeing his people. He saw politics as pragmatism, a mighty tool that he could skillfully use to forge a better tomorrow. He saw people that he disagreed with as potential allies who could share his commitment to freedom. If Douglass picked a side, it was that of doing good, the side of human decency. There's not enough of that spirit today. In fact, we live in very unsettling times. Today's heated politics has boiled over into political violence. And as a result, not only are you navigating through a difficult business environment, you're navigating through a very difficult political, policy, and cultural environment as well. Our job at AdvaMed, as it has been for the past 50 years, is to steady the wheel. Our mission remains laser-focused on advancing policies that matter to all of us, and when necessary, helping our companies avoid the politics of the day. While our country's path out of this cultural crossroads is still a bit unclear, the path through it is not so unclear. That path through it is with us, as your trade association, united and focused on policies that make a difference in people's lives, and never losing sight of our why, our true north. As global business leaders, we must continue to lead the way and help change the tone in our country and around the world by showing how we can talk to each other, how we compete with each other, and most importantly, how we disagree with each other, all while serving a mission that is greater than any one of us. I look out at this audience and I see thousands of people with a singular focus on getting new technologies to people who are suffering. And over the years, I've talked a lot about the incredible innovations our companies are developing, the light speed at which MedTech progress is moving, and about the patients we've impacted. But today, instead of hearing me talk about them, I'd like you to hear directly from them. There's nothing more powerful than the words, their own tears of joy, and their own smiles. So let's start with Peter, diagnosed with immune disorder at age 44 that is often terminal by age 50. Today, he's alive thanks to medical technology, a technology that transforms plasma into medicine. Let's hear what he has to say.
I am so thankful to be alive today and to be here, living a good life that at one time I didn't expect to ever have. Sometimes I sit back and think if I was born even just 50 years earlier, I'd probably be dead by now. I will be forever thankful, one, to the medical community who diagnosed it. I'm just so thankful for it all. It has made my life what it is today. So I think I got my wife a while ago. It says, "Grow old along with me, and the best is yet to be."
And then there's Kent, who was paralyzed from the waist down in a motorcycle accident, told he would never get out of his chair again. He was devastated, as you can imagine. But he was also determined. So he sought cutting-edge treatments and found one in the epidural stimulator. While it isn't a cure, let's hear in his own words how it made a difference in his life.
One of the things that hits you when you're in the hospital, am I ever going to get married? Am I going to have kids? And at this point, I'm married. And the epidural stimulator program gave me the ability to stand at my wedding. As soon as she started walking down the aisle, the emotion just hit me. Like, I don't really cry, but man, I was bawling. even getting to dance with my mom, I mean, that was so awesome. And I feel so close to the kids thing. Like I know it's coming.
And then there's Deborah, living in constant pain, with pain in both her hips and both of her knees, unable to play with her grandchildren. And let's hear how MedTech transformed her life.
Because of medical technology, I today am able to dance again. I'm able to exercise using my legs and my hips. I can enjoy the time that I have with my family. I really enjoy, most of all, the fact that I can, take my grandbabies to the playground. I'm walking without pain, where I knew at one point it took over my life. Because of medical technology, I have my life back.
And then there's Alan, from a small town hours away from a medical center with a long history of lung cancer in his family. And like so many, understandably scared to get checked because he didn't want to know what the answer could be. But all it took was a mobile cancer screening unit to save his life.
I've heard patients say, if I have cancer, I don't want treatment, or if I have cancer, I don't want to know, so whatever you find, don't tell me. And usually I see that as an opportunity to ask more questions and say, well, why would you say that? We're finding it at earlier stages where we have much better treatment options, and instead of saying we're going to give you medicine to help control this cancer, we talk about maybe we could even cure this cancer.
I went to see my surgeon after my surgery, and all the tests come back, and he told me, he said, "You're cancer-free, bub." This is a portrait of my daughter's wedding. All the people in that photo supported me and supported my decision to get scanned and helped me through my treatment and continue to support me, that's for sure. They've seen me sick. They've seen me strong. Now I'm cancer-free in remission. I thank God every day for it.
I've gotten 2 more years with my dad. And I hope many, many more.
And then finally, there's Johnny. Johnny suffered from Parkinson's to the point where his tremors no longer allowed him to write and make the basic things of life, eating and drinking, very, very difficult. It's a terrible disease for which so many treatments have failed. But MedTech is showing profound promise, and it was our industry that gave him his life back.
Anyways, we got 2 hours before surgery, and I'm looking forward to this, and
putting all my faith in these good doctors and the technology.
Breathe in your fingers. Squeeze. And have me touch you in here.
Okay, we're done.
Arms up in the air.
I consider it to be a miracle. I don't toss that word around lately, but it really is. It was the best decision I've made in my life, because my quality of life went from here to here in less than 2 hours. It was amazing. Obviously, it worked because I haven't had a tumor in 14 months, and my life has changed so amazingly.
Flag. Awesome, Johnny.
These people saved my life.
Living without pain again, standing up again, cancer-free again, play golf again. Since the beginning of time, we've been making Americans and people around the world healthy again and again and again. Our industry's enduring mission has always transcended cultural and political divides. Our mission has always been to minimize the number of people we call patients and to minimize the amount of time patients spend as patients. Now, whether you agree or disagree with certain aspects of this administration's initiatives, one thing we can all agree on is we want people to be healthy again, back on their feet again, back to work, back to enjoying life. Every technology you create, every innovation you bring to market, every problem that you solve represents someone's tomorrow that might not have happened without you. Time is our most precious and priceless commodity. and ours is an industry that gives people more of it. So let's all adopt the anthem that defined Frederick Douglass's life. Let us unite with anyone to do right on behalf of the patients we serve. Thank you for all you've done, for your hard work, for your leadership, and thank you for being here today.